there. Beautiful YCS dice. Let's see some beautiful YCS gameplay.
Draw face.
Ooh, an interesting hand there. You know, both of these decks are very high spell counts.
Yokel effect reveals
maybe no traps, but Ashton starting off with the Jokel reveal.
Effect?
Yeah, the one copy of Jokel revealing Azuna. Azuna is now going to allow him, I presume, to put a Lupus into the graveyard.
You're right. It's funny how many
search.
one-ofs we have been seeing at the top tournament tables, right? These cards aren't restricted to one in the hands of the strongest duelists. They just draw them.
Call by the Grave, Triple Tactics Talent. We've seen a lot of that this weekend.
I'll add...
It's nice to be lucky, but it doesn't guarantee you a win in the duel. But now Ashton is going to go ahead and search an additional Canine card here with the Chocool.
Noroi.
Looks like he's considering Noroi. He obviously still has his normal summon,
effect.
and now he'll be normal summoning Noroi. This will now allow him to add another level 5 to the field.
I imagine he's got to go for the hand reveal here. You can almost see Nicholas getting ready as he places his hand just face down on the field, kind of spreads it out.
It's always nice to get the hand reveal before the 5th summon. Not that Nibiru is overwhelmingly popular. I guess this is another option
Ripper?
here. Is just
And
to
just
go into
Canine
Ripper,
Ripper.
of course. Or summon Ripper before the 5th summon.
Search. Yeah.
The Ripper's ability to insulate
Lantern?
so many combo-oriented decks,
Lantern
which we've
effect
now
target.
seen for
Lupus.
ever since Canine honestly has hit the scene,
Lantern to search.
is one of its biggest strengths, whether it's with Crystron, whether it's in prior to the recent Forbidden Limited list, some of his other strategies. So just Ripper's ability to insulate, so powerful.
Case the hand.
Well, you would imagine that the canines are able to sort of investigate, anticipate what their nemesis are doing, but little do they know, there's a werewolf among them. But we're going to go ahead and link for it. This has got to be Saryuja. It is. Oh, that's so cool. So the idea here is you draw 4 cards, and you're just hoping to see some Vanquish Soul names when you're playing Canine Vanquish Soul.
Yeah, this is basically just a way of guaranteeing that you're insulated with your Ripper, but then the odds now of drawing a starter from the Vanquish Soul side of your deck through the roof, and we see that he absolutely did that. We see a copy of Reinforcements of the Army. You saw him very quickly put one of the Molcharmies that he drew off of that effect back into that pile that I presume he'll return back into the deck. Obviously, Molcharmies not so great going first. So it's just an unbelievable way to filter through your deck, and certainly if you had other Molcharmies in your original opening hand, see look, he had multiple copies there. It's just one of the best ways, quite frankly, in the format to make it such that the potential disadvantage of going first and opening Molcharmies is just completely mitigated.
Yeah, a lot of decks like to discard it, but it's even better to put it at the bottom of the deck because maybe you actually do get a chance to use it there. And speaking of using, we are using the effect of Saryuja, special something the Vanquish Soul Razan, and then using that to add Holly Sue to the hand.
Yep, so now it's been revealed that we are in fact looking at a K9 Vanquish Soul strategy. Right? There's a lot of other variations of K9 floating out there, but now it's clear that we're seeing what was really a powerhouse over the course of the last, I'd say maybe about 6 months or so.
Susha Raisin. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the variation now where there's only one Holly Sue but a higher density of Raisins and Stake Your Soul?
So I feel like it makes Holly Sue obviously important, but you're not seeing it as often. The idea is that you as the person sitting across from the Vanquish Soul duelist, they don't just always have Holly Sue, they have to work towards it. But as the Vanquish Soul duelist, you have lines into it, getting Razan, getting those reveals, it certainly helps. But it does feel like this is like the correct version of it, right? I don't anticipate it changing on the Forbidden Limited list anytime soon, unless something crazy happens, right? We've seen Stranger Things. But this feels like the right balance for it. And yes, it is the 1 level 5, but I mean, K9's doing the same dance. It recently had Jokel limited to 1, and it's still getting along just fine. So I think duelists have found a way to pilot this deck and continue, and I don't foresee too many more changes in the future.
Yeah, so we see here the field spell Vanquish Soul start, hit the field.
Oh, wait.
What's interesting about this is if you actually look through Ashton's strategy, I see no trap cards.
Yeah, we got to see his. We got to see his whole deck as he was cycling through there. But, usually you set a trap card at the end of your turn based on controlling those Vanquish Soul monsters, etc. But he's just using it for the extra, search power, get a different Vanquish Soul monster, and keep on trucking.
No, I got nothing in here.
Players having a little conversation with the judge there. I'm sure we'll find out a little bit more about that, but just making sure everything
cut out
is
once earlier, and then
good to go here. If you're
out.
in Nicholas's position, I feel like this is just Sky Striker's natural habitat. You just watch your opponent play, and you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to have to play through that like I do any other deck.
Yeah, I feel like there have been variations of Sky Striker, and maybe those that incorporated something like Shared Ride, which we saw, honestly, at this point years ago, that have a high density of hand interactions.
I can hear. Yeah,
I don't think that's really where the deck is suited right now. I think you're really leaning into more of the board-breaking quick plays, which is one of the reasons I think you would actually bring this strategy this year weekend. I mean, for instance, we didn't have the Fallen and the Virtuous years ago. We didn't have cards like Forbidden Crown years ago. We didn't have cards like Lemnis Gate years ago. So now we have all of these different tools
worries.
that potentially help you break established fields. So I think when you're looking at a Sky Striker
It
deck, you're
happens.
more likely to
What's up?
see
It
that high
happens.
density of spells designed to board break
I
as
don't
opposed to
have
those
the
hand
static. I can't
interactions. So
hear
yeah,
any voices.
you're absolutely correct. I
You can
mentioned a
hear
lot
me.
of the games
I can hear you
Nicholas
as
is
well.
going second this weekend. He's just kind of watching.
I can't hear
It's
anything.
been interesting, too, because we've gotten to see this has been a good year for this deck when you think about it. Obviously, you know, the year's still young. We're only in February here. But starting from Duelist Advance, when all the new Sky Striker cards came out, it's made top cut appearances all over the place.
I'm
And
back
it's
now.
done significantly well in the Swiss rounds, whether you're running it with
No.
Sky Striker RB, maybe you're just doing pure Sky Striker, maybe there's some sort of variant.
I don't have the
Obviously,
static
it's snuck into all the
Yeah.
yummy decks once we got Justice Hunters.
sorry.
So if you're a fan of Ray, man, it's a good time to be alive.
Yeah, Ray is positioned well right now. As well as
Yeah, they
it's
can hear
been
me.
in a while, I think.
I think maybe like Toss format was the last time Sky Striker was this, not invincible, but just good, just solid.
So there was that pocket of time where Engage was at 1, where I thought the deck was actually pretty solid, and then there was also that period of time where you'd
Honestly,
play it
it's
with
helping the nerves a
Destiny
little
Hero
bit.
Phoenix
Yeah.
Enforcer.
Oh, that's right.
Where I actually think it was
Yeah,
right.
right.
up there. I don't know, sorry, the number one best deck, but that's a subjective question anyway. But it was right up there in terms of its playability in that
I'm going
field.
crazy, too.
So I think
man.
there have
don't
been
feel so
pockets of
good.
time where Sky Striker have been interesting choices. And then, of course, if your name's Ryan Yu,
Cut
it's
your-
always
So it looks like not too much has changed here. We still have, sorry, Yuja, just look a little issue there, not related to gameplay at all, actually. So no penalties
Borger
of any
target, Madlove.
kind here. So it looks like we're going to go ahead and reveal the Heavy Borger,
Back to
grab
Sergio.
our Vanquish
Borger
Soul
to
Dr.
draw a
Madlove, return to hand, reveal, and draw for a dark.
I do appreciate, obviously it should be done, but
huge
Ashton
chain.
every single time is pointing to a
Showing
Saruja every time a monster is summoned
Sorry,
underneath
sorry.
it.
Oh, he is remembering to sort of flag down to his opponent that 300 attack boost. It is a mandatory effect, but still good Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Good Yu-Gi-Oh procedure,
Drawing
good
effect
Yu-Gi-Oh
reveal,
Yeah.
Raise and
etiquette.
Ash.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So reveal 2 fires here for the Xiaolong. Xiaolong certainly
Nice.
had a long journey too. I mean, it went from being like an okay Vanquish Soul card to being the best card in Mimigul ever to
Overlay
then
for
becoming,
Nash
you know,
Knight.
something that's a lot more
Yep.
consistent here as we see the Nash Knight. Remember, it's a level 5.
Masquerade.
Obviously helped by
No
the Canine.
attach from
We're
field.
going for the Masquerade line here. Interesting.
So you see Nash?
Yep.
Maybe destroying the spell or trap.
Yes.
Because what you can do with the
Masquerade,
CXC's
quick
Nash
pop
Knight
case.
here is get into the C107
Quick case
Umbral Horror Masquerade, and he's doing exactly that, destroying a case for Canine and getting
So
to
release.
grab your Canine X
Should
forced
right?
release.
Yes.
Yeah, so now he's going to have the Rock effect. He has the Heavy Borger abilities. He has Umbral. He's got the Ripper still on the field. And now he's established the quick play. Maybe this is one of the reasons he feels
Set
that
one.
he doesn't need to main deck copy of
6 in hand.
Snow Devil. Because you're actually going to
5?
see during the end phase that
5,
he's
yeah.
not going to set a trap card.
Pass.
For pass.
Yeah, pass.
No
Yeah, and look
reason
at the
Ash.
opponent's like, you sure?
The hand is
Valiant.
not known
okay.
because of Saruja Shuffle Back. The only thing you
Okay.
do know in my hand is this Madlove I showed, this
Madlove.
Raisin I
So now
showed,
revealing,
this Ash I showed.
dark,
I think that's values.
Fire,
There's
fire.
two unknowns.
Oh yeah, so just showing
Alright,
all
two
the known
unknowns.
cards
Yep.
before the turn ends,
Alright.
and that private
Good for your draw.
knowledge is,
Yep.
well, private.
Anything in draw phase.
It'd be really great if he
Borger effect
could
draw card.
maybe, even if
Yeah.
in this
I
particular
want
game
that.
Nicholas doesn't win, I really think it'd be advantageous to see if he can see both of the set spell and trap cards, because he probably assumes that he naturally drew the soul Snow Devil, but if
standby.
he can actually find a way of baiting out the unknown set card, it would be revealed to him that it's just simply not in his deck going first, which could be interesting to note going into maybe a game 2 where perhaps his opponent would be going second.
Now, this is interesting from Ashen's perspective. You see Foolish Barrel Goods this early into duel, you really don't know what's happening. Could be Lunalight.
Could be Lunalight. Yeah, I was just about
Yeah.
to say, could be Lunalight.
Okay.
Probably not if it's Metal Force Fusion. But
Yeah, good card, but not anything you prioritize in a Lunalight deck, that's for sure.
I'm gonna set one.
Gonna go ahead and set there, flagging
Uh,
Malice. I mean, we at home know what's going on, but now it's time for some Sky Striker
Also send
plays
the
here.
card you
So
have set.
cat is out of the bag.
Extra.
Thinking. Turn release target.
So it looks like we are going to go ahead
Oh wait, pops
and
is part of
force
the
release.
effect, right?
Yes.
Oh, hold
Bring
on.
out the
let me think of
werewolf.
that, sorry.
And that'll allow for the destruction of one card. So I don't know that we have resolved the chain yet.
That's tough, actually.
Maybe we've got one more thing we want to do. Kind of scary, but
And he knew about
I'll
this
check.
release restraint, so
He
this is
did.
not an unknown, of this forced release rather.
Droplet. I'll
he's
send.
going for the droplet here. Places another card on the field, which is going to make it harder for the forced release to just shut this play down. And
Thinking
discarding the
response.
Forbidden Crown as well. So maybe using that to get rid of the Umbral Horror Masquerades effect on resolution.
Rock to add from grave to hand.
Because it's got material, so I mean, we could see somebody lose half their life points at a moment's notice.
Abexu.
Yep.
Drop
And
one.
then-
Oh, but then chaining the
Drop
effect
that,
of Rock
yeah.
of the
I'll go
Vanquisher, since
for
we haven't actually
Umbral
sent any
Okay.
monsters there. But
Force
yeah, we are
Release,
going to go ahead and
release.
negate
I'll pop
the
my
Umbral Horror
Coral, I'll pop.
Masquerade. Probably a good idea.
I'll send this.
That's funny, by the way,
Yeah.
from the perspective. You know, you're thinking you're Nicholas. You're like, I made this big deal to protect this card, and he needed if he was going to completely resolve his linkage.
Exactly.
But put the Black Oat Laughs in the graveyard. You're like, oh man, I fell into it. I stepped into a trap card.
We'll try. Yeah.
Yeah, the reason why he
Effect of 0.
chained the release in the first place was to try and make it so that linkage didn't have a card to destroy. So if you were kind of unsure why he would interact in that specific point,
Battle Frozen Grave.
it was actually potentially a counter if there wasn't something that could be activated in response.
Love to see Sky Striker Ace Zero. We talked a lot behind the scenes about how powerful this deck is and really how good it is across the world right now.
I'll banish it land phase.
So now we see Werewolf's
Good
effect
draw.
that allow
Yep.
him to banish a card, obviously in Nicholas's hand. His hand happens to just be a copy of Hornet Drones.
That's an important card, though, for sure. So many different combos, obviously, with Kakari from that. But you've already got your Sky Striker Ace Zero on the field, so it doesn't feel as bad. But we're going to go ahead and draw one from the Metal Foes. Did you get what you needed?
Yeah, we'll go next.
And I think he's gonna
Oh,
be
he
backing it up.
conceded. Yeah, and that is difficult. And now we get to see all that clamoring. Who's going first?
I see a copy of Heatwave, so that was the card earlier that we were curious about whether or not
Yes.
we would actually see.
I'll try
He
for
has a
vision,
copy of
draw two
Heatwave in his hand.
Yep.
So that is the card that Nicholas, I think, illustrated his plan of going first.
Which means he has to be using this Radiant Typhoon card in the draw phase
of
here.
course.
Yeah,
Stand
because
by
you don't
me.
you,
Yeah.
you get to the beginning of the
Start
main
with me.
phase with Heat Wave. You want to Heat Wave.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're using it in draw phase. You're playing your own draw and lockboard that way anyway, so I think it's just good strategy to do that.
Such an incredible card, and recently
sorry,
reprinted
I
too
changed.
in one of the speed duel
Chain
sets, which
linkage.
is really nice. And linkage on top of that, which means Heat Wave hasn't resolved yet. I got a monster,
Yes.
you don't. That's cool, and that's going
Yeah.
to be Sky Striker Ace Zero. Okay, this is neat. I'm impressed.
Yep, I like it. I'm sold.
No
we'll try
monsters,
zero
but
on
here's the
something.
thing: against any other deck, they would be shaking in their boots. But against K9 Vanquish,
else.
they're just like, oh, okay, cool. I'll just wait it out, and I'll just play on his next turn.
This is true. Any deck that can play on your
well, I can
opponent's turn
engage.
is
Yep.
willing to wait it out. We'll look at a beautiful alternate art engage.
Oh yeah, and he's going to get the draw here, so let's keep counting the engages.
To do that
One.
on stage.
Although without the ability to summon anymore this turn, that's probably all we're going to see. Unless he draws into engage. Is he that good?
I mean, come on now. It's basically a requirement of a feature match for engage to draw into
I swear
engage.
he did. I swear he got the normal art engage. Or was that Hornet Drones?
We'll activate engage.
Oh, he just had
he
it.
just
Okay.
had it, of course.
Guy's good. Guy
Yeah.
just has it lined up. So that's two.
Here, he's going to draw the third. I feel like I've seen that in so many feature matches.
I know. And it's just like wild to see it, but
And
You
engage
must
off
be
the
Ray.
top. Ooh, no, it's a crown.
Crown's good though. You really kind of need that in order to protect your monsters. So I love that we're
Go
seeing
for a linkage.
Crown being used as that defensive card.
Cannot special.
Oh, my bad.
I don't think
That's
he
so
could
true.
summon. Yeah, I think they just kind of like,
Forgot
hey
how my
man,
own
don't
card
forget,
works.
you
Put
heat
in my
waved.
card.
Depending on exactly right, so he's going to be under Heat Wave.
Sure.
If Ashton tries to use something like Azuna
Mm-hmm.
with Lupus, that crown could potentially be an interesting interaction point to block him from being able to use that on-field monster as a level 5 for an Exceed summon. So
No,
that
it's a great
crown
catch.
could be an interesting way to
Stand by
stymie
me.
an additional turn beyond what we see from the Heat Wave itself.
Crown is such a wild card, but looks like play is passing, and I think I just saw a spell canceller in the hands. Perhaps, perhaps not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't seen Spell Cancer in a lot of the K9.
Yeah, it's more of a K9 Chris Strong
Yeah,
card, but I just
exactly.
thought maybe he was like, no, I'm really going to get him this time. But no, it looks like we're just doing Vanquish will start and a case for K9.
I mean,
And
get Sky Striker. You'd like a nice Spell Canceller, but it's just not as accessible, certainly, as in a restaurant
No.
strategy.
especially with Joe Cool only at 1 right now. And it's a win, so it is kind of weak into the Vanquish soul hands you're trying to pile up. Oh, I see who I saw.
Stand by.
Okay.
Yeah, main phase.
Yep.
Attempt to leave.
And he
main
did
phase.
open Holly Sue for what it's worth, the one copy.
Sue effect.
Which is what we
She
see
is,
here.
yeah.
Summon.
Once that effect is wound down, Holly Sue storming the field.
2.2.
Does he have the attributes to reveal to special summon a non-psychic Vanquish Soul?
This can non-target steal if reveal what
Certainly
attribute.
Nicholas considering that. Treating this Holly Sue as a real threat. Maybe doesn't want his opponent to steal his monster either. Although you could just tag it out. Bring out Rose and Ray back together again.
I think he's just fearful of the Fire Dark.
Oh, we're going straight into the linkage here.
We're still in main.
We're still in main. Okay.
So we are going to link off. Not technically link off. Send it to the graveyard to special summon.
We'll go on summon effect target.
Which is actually really important. You know, we mentioned Forbidden Crown. Forbidden Crown prevents monsters as being used for materials for named summon types. But if you're special summoning, you're not actually link summoning, then you're completely fine to use that card. Unless that is the card. Ash Blossom and Joy Spring going to go ahead and stop the Sky Striker Mobilize Engage.
So it is interesting there that by discarding a fire monster, that does partially telegraph the likelihood that he has another fire monster in hand, or else he probably would have used that effect of Holisu earlier, that maybe perhaps he just didn't have a dark monster.
Sue effect.
And if you don't recognize that card, that's
Reveal
Triple
to
Tactics Talent
Study.
with the alternate
Special
art from the Fallen the Virtuous Chronicles deck.
Well, we knew he revealed the Mad Love, so we knew he had the dark monster, so it really illustrates that he had another fire in hand, not that the K9 Vanquish Soul deck established, as we saw here in Game 1. Or if maybe perhaps he has his own hand interactions, because he does have some in his deck list. He just didn't, unfortunately, draw them there in Game 1.
Well, I definitely see some different colored cards here. It's not all spells this time.
Yeah, it looks like a Lightning Storm and an evenly matched. Yeah. And another Jokel summon. Look at this.
It's glued to his hand. I mean, we saw the shuffle, we saw the cut. Nothing fancy, nothing weird here, but some people are that lucky.
It's exactly the opening we saw in Game 1. He did put them in different zones this time, though, I guess.
You got to mix it up,
just
right?
to mix it up.
Wonder if he practices that. Like, this time, I'll place it in the right zones to throw my opponent off guard. And that can come up because, remember, you know, we don't have Moon of the Closed Heaven anymore. But there was a time where the safest monster zone on the field was your rightmost monster zone.
Yep. But we saw the Lupus sent down to the graveyard by the Azuna, and then we saw Noroi come out. That's going to summon, I presume, Lantern.
Like to search? Yeah.
Lantern's going to allow him now to search out a single copy of
Case
for K9.
Beautiful copy, too. I believe that's the Starlight.
And now we'll see Ripper under 5 summons.
Yes.
Gotta love to see it.
As the 5th summon, which for all intents and purposes is the same thing.
And Ibira's a quick effect, but he's not that quick. Grabbing additional Izuna there.
Case.
And it looks like we're activating. I also saw the Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. This is shaping up to be a really strong start here for Ashton.
Target Noroi. Noroi effect.
Yeah.
Don't like seeing that.
So he's getting to see. Look at that. Wow.
Oh, man. And you know the evenly match is coming. That does change up. You've got to get to something that can stop that.
No, I show that.
And I don't know that there's just a built-in spell and trap negate for the Vanquish Soul strategy. Trying to find a rank 5 that stops that may be difficult.
Yeah, the alternative is also not something that I think his deck is able to do. But I don't love evenly matched this weekend because cards like Sanctifier exist, which can put monsters on your field, which we see in a lot of the Draco Tail branded strategies. So I think this might be an interesting game here for Ashton to navigate, where he's thinking to himself, wow, I'm going uninterrupted. This is great. Oh, wait, you have Lightning Storm and you have evenly matched? I can't necessarily establish the full field like I would typically.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to see how he figures this out, but we're going for Saryuja as we drop a few cards. Notice that all those monsters just disappeared off the field as we struggle to find an answer here.
So I'm trying to think, if I was in his shoes, what would I try to do? Well, what you want to try and do is make the field appealing enough to get the evenly out of the hand, but then be able to play with defense position monsters in main phase 2 to play around the Lightning Storm, and then try to win the game on your next turn and make it so the Lightning Storm never deals with any meaningful attack position monsters.
Well, he's certainly trying to establish something. Hold on to your noses as we activate Stake Your Soul. Going to go ahead and reveal, get the Razen. Razen grabs the Holisu. So he's still trying to cook, just has to figure out what to do. You wonder if you almost make a werewolf and you just try to banish a card and you just hope it's the evenly matched? 20% chance? Give it a shot? Or it could at least stop the Lightning Storm.
That is true. Yeah, so you would be able, but he still is going to have his first activation, and it can just be evenly matched. But I guess you are correct. It would be able to stop the Lightning Storm. So I think no matter what, the Lightning Storm is probably checked pretty well, all things considered. sometimes it's the 1-2 combo, right? And sometimes there's strategies that have, as you were mentioning earlier, a spell and trap negate, where it's that second board breaking card that's really the backbreaker, because you use a negate, throughout the game's history, whether it's Savage Dragon or something. There's so many examples of that. But then all of a sudden they follow up with the Evenly or the Lightning Storm that comes second, and that's the one you don't have the negate for. So,
well, or even if he activates Evenly and something happens to it, we could see a Forbidden Droplet swap out the Evenly away, negate that card, and then you're still at the same differential of cards there. So there's a lot of different ways this could go. So I'm very curious to see if Ashton's preparation here is going to pay off, knowing that he knows his opponent has the Evenly matched.
Ooh, drew a Droll Blockbird there. I am curious what his end board is going to look like. He's got a lot of monsters here. It looks like a lot of them ultimately are Link monsters.
Oh, and SP Little Knight to protect your own monsters, maybe. This you just assume it's Sky Striker. Maybe it's not going to be able to beat you down in a single turn, so I think this might be the answer.
Do I know anything?
Yeah, this isn't the worst one, right? So he has Holly Sue in hand, so he has a main phase 2. Okay, well, he's going to use it now. Oh, no, he's just revealing the cards that he knows. So he has a Holly Sue that can be used in main phase 2. So even if he evenly matches, he'll be able to banish the SP Little Knight. And then from there, he can keep maybe Ripper on the field, maybe potentially Rock on the field. But he also will have the Heavy Borger effect that'll be able to be used earlier than that. So I think this is a pretty reasonable way of getting around some of the concerns of what evenly match could accomplish.
Well, Nicholas getting things started, activating the Radiant Typhoon Vision here.
And then we saw Heavy Borger reveal to draw, so he got at least got some value on that card on his field.
The only issue I see with the SP Little Knight is because you've got attack position monsters now, it kind of invites the Lightning Storm, and then maybe the evenly match isn't going to be as big a deal, and that's fine, but you're not getting out of this one way or the other.
One interesting thing is he didn't set with Soul Start,
from hand. Just reveal any
we already knew that he was side decking the copy of Snow Devil.
Stay by me. Yes.
So I find that interesting.
Let's see what comes down here. Looks like it's the Fallen and the Virtuous.
Try
to get rid of the Vanquish Soul Start, actually.
Because I don't think I want to draw Snow Devil off the top right now. So I at least would have cycled it out of my deck, even if I have to banish it.
Nothing.
Agree, because you really, it's either in there or it's not, but here comes the Lightning Storm. We talked a lot about this. Take a look at the graveyard here. Nothing magical in there, nothing in the hand of any value. So soon we're going to see the SP Little Knight try to do something. Takes a look at the hand again. And we're going to just grab the Razen off the effect of the Rock of the Vanquisher. Other than that, goodbye monsters, and not even trying to use the SP Little Knight.
See, alternatively, if he searched Snow Devil and just kept his field with a bunch of Vanquish Souls, he could have protected it there, but then you're weak to the evenly matched. It was just a weird situation to try to navigate.
End of main.
But technically speaking, there weren't a lot of starters in that hand, so maybe Nicholas cleared the field, but look at Ashton's hand. We might just see a full combo in his main phase too. And do you feel like the end of the main phase now is like, okay, now I'm going to start playing, whether you're seeing Canine Vanquish Soul or perhaps you're seeing Draco Tail, that's when a lot of monsters show up. So if you don't have any surprises at the end of your main phase, your opponent basically is getting 2 turns in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to see a lot of players this weekend with Fallen of the White Dragon actually send the Dragon that Devours Dogma, which instead of automatically setting during the end phase, allows you to add it to your hand. And what that does is it hedges against your opponent playing at the end of your main phase, because then you can search the Fallen instead of have it automatically set to the field, and then use the Fallen and the Virtuous at the end of your main phase. Now, if your opponent does not play at the end of your turn, you can still then use the Fallen and the Virtuous into your end phase, destroy one of your own cards, which is a disadvantage, but then you can send Albion the Shrouded Dragon, or the Branded Dragon, set another copy of the Fallen and the Virtuous, and you hedge. Really, at the end of the day, you're hedging against your opponent playing at the end of your main phase.
It's a really great format. You know, there's been so many different formats throughout Yu-Gi-Oh's history. Right, we're at the 300th YCS. But seeing that duelists continue to level up, continue to find new ways to use their card effects to the best of their ability is just wild. Speaking of which, reveal 3, I think that's going to be for destroying one card on the field. Fire, Dark Earth. Because Earth is unaffected, if I remember right, for Caesar Velios. Nicholas taking a look at his graveyard. I don't know if Ashton's graveyard contains any secrets, but I think we're just going to non-target destroy a card here.
We'll try for a Widow.
Oh, but we have to negate it, yeah. And you've already used one of the effects. You can't reveal Earth for the protection there. Does he take it?
Steal.
I mean, it's only till the end of the turn.
Yeah, I guess there's no harm in taking it.
Stand by main.
Good.
Thinking.
Interesting. Oh, I guess it's not the end of the turn. Excuse me, that's
one in hand?
Ashen's
One in
turn.
hand, yeah.
Since I saw the little arrow there. We're in main phase 1. So taking the Caesar Valius before it's unaffected, and then the chain resolves and it is unaffected. That feels pretty strong. So at least you've got a 3,000
raise
body
effect.
that doesn't care about anything. So normal summoning another Vanquish Soul Rosin. Must feel good as a Vanquish Soul duelist. And you see those two on the field, and you're like, yeah, that's it.
Yes, back to the good old
Raise it to
days.
destroy.
In column.
Now he gets to reveal the Jowlong that he had with a copy of Mad Love to destroy Caesar Valius. Now we're going to go into a copy of Rock.
Effect to add from grave to hand.
Yeah.
Probably going to bring back the Caesar Valius.
Nice.
Yep, absolutely.
It's
Makes a lot
pretty
of
good.
sense.
Sue effect.
Now here comes
show
Holly Sue. I think this is
Jala.
probably going to be enough
Jowlong
for
effect?
Nicholas.
I mean, what would you have to have face down? Threatening Roar at this point?
Like a
Sue special?
monster plus crown, like your
Sue
own
special?
monster maybe,
Yeah.
but even then,
Yeah.
that's just not sufficient. It's actually funny you say threatening roar because crown, in one of its ways of functionality, kind of is a similar version to the way threatening roar used to kind of function back in the day, where it would guarantee you a turn.
I do love me some Lifeline cards. Everybody makes fun of me for Mystic Mind, but it was the modern Swords Revealing Light. And anything that'll just protect you and keep you in the duel for another turn feels maybe not good, but safe.
Yeah.
You know you're getting to that next turn.
I think.
So now we're going to see the Nash Knight play that we saw in the previous. I think it was actually 2 games ago now, but in the first game of the match.
Sure. Or is it effect to rank up, or
Yes,
is
it's
it?
an effect to rank up. Oh, so the
So we
make of
made
CXC
RxC.
national
So
is not
here's the
not
thing,
bad.
you know, we
The
put the
CXCs
Umbral
to
Horror
rank up is
Masquerade,
an
so we're
effect.
still doing that very standard combo, which means we can
Okay,
go
I think
ahead
Yeah, someone's
and
fine.
use the effect of the
Fine.
CXC's Nash Knight,
we'll
leave
chain.
the Umbral Horror Masquerade, and then get the C104.
Someday.
But that has that inherent
Sure.
spell and
Time
trap
to
as
my
part
card.
of its effect. So
What's up?
looks like we're just going to chain before any of that happens. Send the Ecclesia to the graveyard.
Counter by card effects.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, that's fine.
So it's still going to happen. Yeah, I think that's what the confirmation is. Like,
Yeah.
you're not getting out of this. Sorry, friend.
Lance raising.
Oh, and there's Caesar Valius
Ball face.
returning one of the Rosen.
Now you got it.
And
And there's the
Man.
handshake. Oh,
Nice.
man. Good.